one more time being with me here on Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver, aka the Templeton Adventures page on TikTok. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, first thing is, how many games do I currently have in my collection? Roughly about 130 games. And out of those 130 games, I'm going to show you several stats that I've got here with about 25 a piece in them. And I kind of stack them by what they are or what they are to me and how I see them in my view range. But I'm going to start with like sleeping dogs, dude. So realistically, sleeping dogs, you can catch it. I mean, I caught this one for 99 cents, so and it's in pretty decent shape. I try to collect everything with a manual if I can get it with a manual. Couple reasons for that. The first big reason is because of value. If you're looking at book value, and there's places to go that you can check your book value out, but if you go and try to go to any of the big retailers that are reselling stuff like DK Oldies or eStarland or anybody like that, most of them aren't going to give you resale value. They're going to give you like drug under the bus value for everything, GameStop, all of it. So it's kind of knowledge is power. And eStarland kind of does the best pricing guides in the business. They'll show you, all three places for it. What you're looking for, what you're looking at, and how much you're going to be going. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing a wonderful day. Uh, but that was one of the things that I kind of learned along the way is you kind of have to know your pricing guides, and you have to know what you're paying for each of them, and if you're getting a deal or not. The next big one in that list is going to be the Blob 2. Now, this is new to me. I didn't play this while it was out. I'm still playing it currently. It's just something fun for me. But like I said, I try to get everything with the manual and the game so that it will run. Now, I paid, I want to say $1 for this as well. So, and it's just about hunting this stuff down and finding it. Some of it I found in pawn shops, some of it I found around the world, really. Just going to different pawn shops, going to different um resale stores, secondhand stores, collectible stores, going to used movie places and DVD places and finding stuff and just going for it. I kind of got Rainbow Six was my next one. Now I paid like $3 and some change for this a couple years ago when it was still hot. But I try to make sure, like I said, everything has the manual. It's just very important to me that everything has a manual. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you, man, for being here. Appreciate you guys for coming on in. Um, then the Saboteur. If y'all don't know about the Saboteur, y'all are missing out on a game here, guys. Now, this one did not come with all the case candy, but it does have the manual with it. But I'm missing some codes and stuff on this one. Now, I paid some money for this. Now, this one was probably one of the most expensive ones that I bought. It was like $26 and some change. And that's just because, it's really become collectible as the system has moved up. Now, NBA Live, I am missing the disc for this one currently. It's somewhere in my loose disc stack, but this is NBA Live '09, and it's one of the better games that came out for the system. One of the better featured games that NBA Live had. 10 was probably the best game in my personal opinion that they did. But how can you talk about sports games without mentioning the fact that you have some very expensive ones in the collection? Some of the 2K games, like the college 2K games, are extremely expensive even today on the collecting side. So you got to know what you're looking for. And like I said, get those price guides, look at those price guides, check those price guides out, and see if you all can find what you're looking for, exactly what you're looking for, how you're looking for it, and what you want to pay for it. The next three on the list are in a series. So I started with Arkham Origins. I know you guys can't see that, but it was pre-owned, 5.95. About $6 is what I paid for it about a year ago. And it does have the manual. It does have all the good stuff inside with it. This one had the extra suits and stuff that you could download directly. The case is there for it. I mean, all of it's here, as you see. But I paid $6 for that. And that was back in its heyday. Game of the Year version, 3.95 for Batman Arkham City. And this is the red case. There's a lot of red cases out there. Now, this one was used a little bit and it's been numbered. So it was like a rental game. But, you know, can't beat it. I mean, you're getting stuff for whatever. And then Arkham Asylum. This is one of the better games that came through. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you guys. Hey, Feathers, how you doing? Arkham Asylum was one of the better games for the PlayStation 3, and the Batman series was wonderful. This was $1.45, guys. $1.45 with all the case candy and everything. So I mean, to start a list like this off on the foot that we're in, it would just not make sense to go directly into some of the other games that really had an impact over the system. And I don't have the full collection of them here, but I've got three of them here, which is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And this was GameStop exclusive on this one. And I paid literally $1 for this game. I got Assassin's Creed 3. Now, this was the Walmart edition, the Walmart exclusive, and the artwork is a little janky on it, so I wouldn't give myself full of it. But this has a dual disc inside of it. So I got a Assassin's Creed 2 disc and an Assassin's Creed 3 disc in this one. And I paid at a flea market for this, I want to say $2.50 for both games. And like I said, it's got the one that's loose on the inside of it. So I told you I don't have a complete collection, but I have enough to be dangerous. Now, this is one of the ones that does not have a manual in it, and I do have a manual somewhere, but this case was all jacked up like Mountain Dew, as they say. It's a Assassin's Creed Revelations. Lord, I'm losing my mind here. But it didn't have the case candy on the inside of it, and I do have it somewhere. I do have a manual for this somewhere. I just need to go through my boxes and find out. So Crisis 3, I paid $3.95 for about a year ago. Got it at mckays in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm giving y'all a big shout out, mckays, right now. Just want to let y'all know. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful. But that's one of the better games. This is the limited edition. This was the GameStop limited edition. And it came with some extra bonus features like the scar and the weapon attachments and stuff like that. And this was a really good game back in the day whenever it came through. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful. One of the next games on the list is one of those that if you were an original Kingdom Hearts fan, you kind of liked how they progressed the series and moved forward. And it's the 1.5 remix. So they went through and did the Unchained, the card game. They did the original. They did the Epic Mickey. I mean, they did all sorts of stuff. The final mix, the 385 or 358 day two. They did all of that. The Chain of Memories was my favorite series in this, where you did the card game battle and play. It was a lot of fun to watch and have some fun with it. And I really want to say that when I got this game, I wasn't I wasn't as impressed until I started actually playing it and going through it and going through the motions with it and playing more of it. So that was one of the things that it took me a while to get with Square on this, but it was one of the better games for the system and one of the better games for the console is this Kingdom Hearts 1.5 remix. And I've got to give it a lot of credit. And I paid $3 for this game at a pawn shop. Somebody just was trying to get rid of it, and I just picked it up. I was eating stuff up like it was candy. Now, the next game that I got, I paid 99 cents for, and I never played it. I still am. It's on my list of PS3 games to play. It's one of the things that I will be doing within the future with you guys directly here on live. But it's Soul Calibur 5. Never played it, picked it up. It was just one of those games that was too pricey back in the day for me. I just didn't want to spend it, and I was interested in shooters at the time. And this is a Namco game that I, in the days to come, will be interested in playing with you guys and seeing all the interactions of what's going on with Soul Calibur. Now, this one had like a dog. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got teeth marks from a dog or from a cat or something. Has chewed on that and tried to make that case not as valuable, but it's still a good game nonetheless. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Good case nonetheless. This is one of the games that I got. I bought a bundle off of eBay a couple years ago, and I got four PlayStation 3 systems that were not working, and I made them work. And this was one of the games that the dude threw in. He threw in a PlayStation Eye and a remote and some other stuff with the four consoles. But it's the Bourne Conspiracy. And this was like I said, it was a free game. He just threw it in with everything and was like, I want you to have it. So it came with all the case candy and stuff. So I didn't pay anything for this, but I played through it, and it was a great play, man. I would recommend it. It has a lot of hand ham animations for the time. It was trying to follow the suit of James Bond, like the Quantum of Solace games. It was trying to follow that suit, but it didn't do it quite as well. What's up, Connor? How are you doing today? Hope everybody's doing wonderful wherever you guys are at. But it was a wonderful game nonetheless. And we were talking about sports games a little bit ago, but we're going to go back to them here because I think that this is one of the most underrated games for the console, and it's the bigs. Now, this one I paid $3.95 for, about $4 for, almost full retail for from mckays in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It came with all the goodies on the inside of it, and it was one of the better games that they had at the time. It gave a different style of pitching, a different style of hitting, and just overall was wonderful. I mentioned a minute ago that whenever I bought those PlayStations, I got some free games. I got a bunch of free games. I got actually four free games inside that bundle, and this was one of them. It was Air Conflicts Vietnam, and this is one of the games that I had a lot of trouble with at first, and then I got into it and it was doing pretty good. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful. It took me a little bit to get through it, but not as much trouble as Ace Combat did. Ace Combat, this is the Assault Horizon version of it. And again, what's up, James? They gave me a lot of trouble out of this game. This one was a free game too. It came in that console bundle that I mentioned a minute ago when I was fixing PlayStations up and doing some stuff. That's one of the games that came to me for that. Blazing Angels. Now, I did not pay the $49.99 that it says right there. I paid $1.50 for Blazing Angels. This is Squadrons of World War II, and it came with a secondary receipt on the inside from where it was purchased once before. And the guy that purchased it for $4.32 before I got it. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing that you can see the pricing and everything go. And as you see, the receipts right there, I've got the manual for it as well. But that's a pretty cool thing, man, to see that Blazing Angels has made it this far. And that actually was not really good at driving or flying games, to be honest with you. But that was a pretty good one. That was a good one to play. I'd recommend it to everybody. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. So this is $11.95, and I actually paid the $11.95 for it. So I paid almost full retail for this bad boy. Um, and I've only stuck it in to download it. I haven't played it yet. So it's going to be on my list with Soul Calibur to play with you guys pretty soon. I just don't know when. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you guys coming into the Camel Toe Adventures, aka the Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver channel today. We are going over some of the games for PlayStation 3, what we paid, how much we paid, what you can expect pricing guide, and everything else. Now, this was a little bit different game. This is Heavy Rain. This was the Origami Killer. This was the game of all games. It was like $70 when it first came out. And if you got different editions, it was all the way up to like $200. And I found one that they misprinted because they gave me the Rain Chronicles, which I never used on the inside of it. I got the map, and I've got the origami folder on the inside of this one. So this one had a complete case candy on the inside of it, and the disc was immaculate. And I've played it not all the way through, but I'm about done with this game currently. And I want to restart it and I want to replay it for you guys eventually. Now, I paid $5.95 for this game. This game was originally, like I said, almost a $70 game whenever it first came out. It was $69.99. And like I said, for $5.95 to $69.99, and you got everything inside the case, that's an immaculate find. That's a wonderful find, to be honest with you, because some of those games are still retailing for almost $30 in the condition that they're in. So that was a great thing. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody is doing wonderful. This next game is Duke Nukem Forever. So I remember playing Duke Nukem on the 64, and I remember sucking at it greatly. And this was my redemption game, Duke Nukem Forever. And yes, I did pay $6.95 for it. That's almost full retail of used, but I got everything in the box with it, all the case candy, all the good stuff. And we were having a wonderful time with this back in the day. I still suck at Duke Nukem. So if y'all are out there trying to challenge and see if we can still play, I'm just going to tell you I suck. So baseball games, I've got a bunch of them. I mentioned the bigs earlier. Let me see if I've got any in these other two stacks here. So these are going to be all kind of in a weird series. So I think the best one for me, which I paid 45 cents for, is the Show 12. I love the features of 12. It just brought everything together great. And I actually bought the show for several years on the PlayStation 4 afterwards, but that was really the game that got me. My cousin started with '09, started with this bad boy here, and it kind of got me hooked on the show's progress of how the game worked. I went to 11 next, and then I bought 10 and backtracked. So I played it backwards is how I did. Now I paid 95 cents for 10, 45 cents for 11, 45 cents for 9, and 45 cents for 12. So I mean, the games are out there, guys. If you just want to look for them and find them, and they were just fire selling that crap because they wanted to get rid of it. They wanted it off of their books, um, in such a way that you can't imagine. So they fire sell stuff sometimes. So I've got a little bit of a collection here going, and the next little bit is going to be kind of war games. We're going to talk about some of them, get into it. The Metal Gear Solid collection, one, two, it's Snake Eater, the Sons of Liberty, and Peace Walker all in one. Now this game I got from, I want to say Lukey. I think this was a Lukey game, and they were running a fire sale on it. I got it for $6 at the time, and it's probably a $30 game with everything inside the case still. Got everything ready to go for it. But it was just one of those games where you couldn't pass it up as all three in one, and you had everything going for the HD collection to start it and get it moving. So I just joined on that and just kept it rolling. Mass Effect. So this is Mass Effect 3, and it's in terrible condition because of all the sticker fadage and all that. They sold it for $18.99 as the fire sale for pre-owned, and it was a $50 game when it first came out. Have the original purchaser's card here, and they got it for about $3 on trade from GameStop. But it's got everything inside of it, the case candy, all of the manuals and all that fun stuff is still inside of it. It's just flipped upside down and backwards. And this does have reversible case art. That's the cool thing about this was reversible case art on the inside, and it's one of the only few games that has reversible case art for the entire game, depending on how you played it. So that was something cool. How you liked it? Hey, bud, how are you doing? My puppy came in here. Yeah. It was a pretty cool game back in the day. The next one I got to late in life. I did not get to play it what was online. And now that the servers have been shut down, I don't know if we'll ever get to see it again, but I would like to see somebody like the PS1 group or somebody put this back up. It is MAG, Mass Action Game. I would like to get a chance to play this online at some point in time. I'd love for you guys to put this back out. Now, I paid literally 45 cents for this game, 45 cents for this, and it's because it's dead. And like I said, I got it late in life. It was one of those games where I wasn't really interested in it as it came out, but I've seen footage of it and heard so much about it that I want to be a part of it eventually as well, and hope that you guys would join me on that journey if they ever do turn the servers back on. The next two are PlayStation Classics. I got one for $3 and one for $5. I bought Killzone 2 for $5. I bought Killzone 3 for $2.95 for $3. And both of these games are in immaculate condition. I do not have the case candy for Killzone 2, but it doesn't change the game. And the manual only adds $1.50 to value for it for this one. And for 3, I've got it, but it looks like it was drug under the bus. It looks like it has some water damage on it. Like it was just left out and somebody put a drink on it or something and it just went through, but I've got it. And Killzone was one of those games where if you don't know, you got to go back and play. You got to go back and have some fun with it. You got to go back and play it. Got to have some time with it. Jose, what's up, buddy? Hope everybody's having a good one. Anna, how are you doing today? But it was just one of those games you had to play. Destiny. So played Destiny when it first came out at then my ex-wife's sister's house, my sister-in-law's house with her husband and her nephew. And it was one of those games that just made an impact on me. She bought me the game right before I traded my original PlayStation 3 in, and I had to go back and get it. It was one of the first games I went back and got whenever I got my play when I got back to buying PlayStations and fixing them. So Destiny is on the list. I paid 95 cents for this game. As you see, it's still got the original service tag on it to make sure that you're purchasing it at Electronics Boutique. It does not come with a manual. This is right at the end of PlayStation's life. The manual was through the extent of the season pass and didn't have one for it. And PlayStation, right as they turned into this red logo, right before they turned to the blue logo at the top, when you start seeing the blue logo, but the end of the red at the beginning of the blue, they started taking manuals away and they became online manuals only. And that's a little interesting fact. So the next three are all in a series as well. Pretty good games. And my favorite of them is Fall of Man. It's Resistance Fall of Man, and I paid $5.95 for this game, guys. Got the case, the artwork, all that good stuff on the inside with it. Resistance 2, which is the same way, case and artwork right there on the inside. I paid $5.95 for this one as well. And then Resistance 3, which was probably my second favorite in the series with case and artwork and all that good stuff. I paid $8.95 for this one. So I paid a little bit more for Resistance 3. And these are all on the greatest hit side, the red cases. So that was a fun little pickup for me whenever I did it. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope you're doing wonderful out there. We're just talking a little bit about PlayStation 3 and some of the games that were very important that had a long lasting impact. Fall of Man had probably the most storyline of any game I've ever played. It was probably one of the longest storylines if you're playing it by yourself, because you could get lost for hours in just killing aliens and killing things that was going on. And that was one of the things that made it as fun as it was. It's one of the better games that I ever got. It was actually recommended to me while I was in Cookeville, Tennessee, from a guy that was working at GameStop. He knew that I was into Call of Duty stuff, and he wanted me to take and make sure that we were staying on that track with it. And he wanted to keep shooters in forefront for me, and he just recommended it to me, and I fell in love instantly. It was instant love, guys, for that. The next game comes from a long series of games, and it's one of those that if you didn't play the first couple games for the PlayStation 2, like there's like 4 games out there for it, then you kind of missed out in how AI was actually being built for your games. What's up, Travis? How you doing, buddy? And that's SOCOM 4 and AV Seals. So it's one of the best tactical shooters, still one of the best tactical shooters. And this one had the early access to Resistance 3 that was in there. I do have the codes for it in the back, but as you can see, got the case candy, got all the good stuff. And this one too had the reversible art on the inside that you could put from the other side. So that's pretty cool, man. I like that. I like the reversible art games. That's very interesting because there's only a couple of them that can do that. I didn't play these next 2 until after the PlayStation 3 had completely, like, gone defunct and people weren't into it anymore, but that Sniper Elite V2 and Sniper Elite 3. So, and yes, I paid the price that you see, the $5.95 and the $11.95. Those are what I paid for the games. But I did not play them. It was one of those things, like I was too into Call of Duty at the time and wasn't too interested. That's Sniper Elite V2 is what I just showed. Wasn't too interested in this. But as I've gotten more comfortable with the system and wanted to play more on it, that's some of the games that I played. This next game was one that was recommended to me by my brother when it first came out. I bought it. I bought this game 3 different times on 3 different occasions, and I've traded it on 3 different occasions because I like the storyline with it. America gets invaded by the Chinese or the Korean Republic, the Federation of Occupied American Citizens Guide. I really enjoyed it. It was Homefront. So this one I paid 99 cents for. Its listing as pre-owned is 13.49 on this. It was a $60 game, brand new. Has the case, has the manual, has everything in it, ready to go, and it was just a fun game. The online for that was a lot better than what anybody put out. I really enjoyed the online multiplayer from Homefront, like a lot. I really enjoyed it a lot. It was one of the better online multiplayers that came out. It wasn't quite as good as Call of Duty, but it was comparable. You could compare it and knew that you were having a great game with it. Enemy Front. This was a lot of repetition in this game, and it drove me nuts to see all the repetition. I paid $5.95 for this game. It has the manual, has the game manual in the case in it. but it was one of those games like you just did a lot of repetition stuff. Crawl in the tunnels, go do this, come back, crawl in the tunnels again, mission over. And it just drove me nuts, man. That was just one of the games that I could not really. It should have been a little bit better thought out and planned out. I mean, they tried their best, but it just wasn't there. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful. This next game that we got for it was one of the first AI system games, and the series actually was so well. I actually played it for the original Xbox first, is what I played this game series on, and it brought me to this for the PlayStation 3. That's Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. And this is probably one of the most convincing storylines of all time, most cinematic storylines of all time. Had one of the best multiplayers for the system at the time, and it got overshadowed by Battlefield 1942 and Call of Duty World at War at the time while it was out. This actually had an awesome multiplayer while it was still alive and still out. And you can still play it on Xbox. Like if you got the Xbox version, you can still play the Xbox Live version of it and get that multiplayer experience if you can find people that want to play with you. But this was the freaking game. Hell's Highway was the game. And going through it all, learning how it ended, learning how people were going, seeing how it tore people up in the missions and everything. I mean, it would just gave it a complete series. Now, I would have liked to see one more Brothers in Arms come out for the system. I'd like to see another Brothers in Arms now come out for the system. They tried it on the DS and the Wii, and it didn't go over really well. And they just killed it after that. But we deserve another Brothers in Arms, guys. I really believe that 100%. Army of Two. So we've got the Devil's Cartel. I paid $11.35 for this, and this was at the end. Oh, that manual just fell right out. So that case art fell right out. But the Overkill edition here. Um, but this was one of the games that I didn't play until late, and I got into it just a little bit too late. I would have loved to have the co-op work for me instead of having to do it by myself. I would have loved to have somebody play this with me whenever it first came out. After playing it, it was just one of the better games. It's like I'm putting the case art back in for you guys, just so you guys can see it happen here live, so you know I'm not a wanksta. But yeah, that this is one of the games that I wish I would have played co-op live with somebody. And same thing with this, the 40 day. I got into it too late, man. I got into it after everybody is off of it, and I was just playing it. And I got a bunch of free crap with this one too. So I've got the comic series and all the January 2010 stuff that was available to it, all the EA stuff that came with it, and some of that stuff is still online for it. The 40 day was an awesome game as well. Battlefield Bad Company and Bad Company 2. What can you say about this? Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Battlefield Bad Company. I play this about once a year. I go through Battlefield Bad Company, and it's one of my favorite war games. That's for the system. It's actually a complete war game that's on the system. Storylines there, the movements are there, everything makes sense inside the game. And what I mean by that is you're hunting for gold, and you're fighting an army to do it. And then Bad Company 2 just expanded on top of it. So this was one of the better games as well for the series, and I'm really surprised that um that EA and DICE really didn't follow it up with a third game, especially after the way that these two sold. I paid $4.95 for original Bad Company 2. I paid $1.50 for, and I got it at a pawn shop. I got Bad Company 2 at a pawn shop. And it was just sitting there staring me in the face. And it has all the case candy and everything on the inside. Like I've got all the markers manuals and everything. I even got special editions, Dante's Inferno, got everything. So that's when they started advertising for games. I've got it all in here. It's got everything. It was one of the greatest games of all time. I do have LA Noir, but I don't know where it's at. I think it's at my mom's house because I took PlayStation over there a couple weeks ago and some games, and I wasn't paying attention to what all I took. But we were going to sit with my dad, and I took some stuff. So that brings me to the Call of Duty section. So my favorite Call of Duty gets crapped on all the time. It gets thrown under the bus. Nobody likes it. Everybody hated it, and that was Call of Duty Ghost. This was my game. I'm just going to tell you, my guys, I loved it for extinction. I won I wanted it for Extinction so bad, man. I mean, I really wanted it for Extinction. Like you can't you can't even understand how bad I wanted this for Extinction. Um, and Extinction was probably the best game that happened. It's got the PS4 codes for it to transfer it over. It's got everything else with it, but that was it. If you bought this game, you could do the PS4 transfer for $10. And it's got all the codes on the inside of it, the manual on the inside of it. I paid on this copy $1.12 for that copy of it. And I found it at a yard sale. Some dude was selling it at a yard sale, and I just picked it up. The rest of these Call of Duties all came from mckays. I paid between $1 and $5 for them. Black Ops, the original Black Ops. And I think I got another game on the inside of this one. I do. I got Destiny on the inside of this one because Black Ops is in the PlayStation out here right now. So, but Black Ops was one of the better games, the original games for it. I remember staying up all night to get that game when it originally came out before I traded everything in. And I stayed up all night at GameStop waiting on Black Ops to come in. Advanced Warfare, not the greatest Call of Duty, but one of the better Call of Duties as far as the advanced feature. I did not like the exoskeleton suit. I think that was kind of cheating a little bit, but you could see where Call of Duty was trying to move for Black Ops 3 and go. Black Ops 3 is one of the games that has eluded me this entire time. I've seen copies of all three games that were made. I've seen them on Xbox. I've seen them for PlayStation 3, but I've never seen them together for PlayStation 3 selling. I've only seen them in people's private collections. Black Ops 2, probably the best Black Ops that was made for the PlayStation. And this game is out there as well. I've got it in the other case that's out there, the Destiny case that's out there. Paid $11.95 for that used. Um, that one was one of the more expensive ones that I've got. Modern Warfare 3 was $1. I played. Now I love Modern Warfare 3. I love the storyline on Modern Warfare 3. I love Soap. I love how it acted out. I love everything about it. Love the multiplayer on it. One of the better multiplayers for any game, if you don't know. Too bad that it's all been flooded. All these Call of Duty games have been flooded by cheaters now and scammers and all that crap, and it's just bots everywhere. Modern Warfare 2, probably the best storyline in a Modern Warfare game that there ever has been. I paid $1.95 for it. The original one I paid $40 for. I bought it used. Kind of negotiated with GameStop. They wanted 49 and I got it for 40 because I had my Plus membership at the time. Modern Warfare 4. I remember when this game out, there was a lot of hype over this game about everybody wanting to play Modern Warfare and go through with it. A lot of hype for this game. A lot. Like extreme hype for this game. And it lived up to it to a certain degree. It's still not perfect. It still has flaws like anything else does. And over the years, the multiplayers have been flooded on these because nobody is monitoring the servers anymore. They've all moved on to bigger and better games and bigger and better things, and they should be monitoring these games as well. World at War. So this was a red tag. This is one of the greatest events. I paid $1 for this. And this game, the storyline is awesome on this. It's not the best storyline, but it's one of the best storylines in the Call of Duty series. And I would not be giving it justice if I didn't tell you that the online multiplayer was what made Call of Duty. When World of War came out, that Call of Duty right there was the game that made Call of Duty extremely famous. Call of Duty was starting to gain traction back after 2 and after 3. 2 really got a good presence in it, and then Modern Warfare kinda had that okay presence. People started to recognize it, but man, when War came out, it just skyrocketed Call of Duty to the next level, and then Black Ops really set it up. Everybody was so extremely happy for Black Ops. The zombies on both of those games were just out of this world. Call of Duty: The Cartel. So I think I paid $7 for this. Um, has one of the better multiplayers for it. What's up, buddy? I've got some people at my door. I think it's my food. Has one of the better multiplayers for it for a game that's out there right now. I would recommend it to anybody that's interested in seeing it, doing it, living it, all that good stuff. TikTok. I mean, just come on out and let's talk about it. MLB The Show 8. Now, I showed you all the MLB The Shows that I had on the other side. I didn't get this one until late. I've gone back through and played it, and this was the one that kind of started the new era and new generation for MLB The Show with Ryan Howard on the front, man. And it just, you could build your own soundtrack with your music. It gave you the watch your highlight reel. You got called up to the show a lot easier on this game. You had the new pitcher and batter analysis that was given out. They also had new scouting reports that were available to it. It just made sense, man. It just made 100% sense to do that. And that was the show. That's really what started the show really being famous was the '08 series. Like it just really picked up. That and all the online DLC at the time, dude. The DLCs for like the Polo Grounds and the original jerseys for the Giants and the Mets and the Astros and all that. That was just phenomenal. Nobody else was doing that. So it made a difference. 2K didn't do that for years. 2K7 started the trend to get the jerseys, but they did the scouting reports in it. I remember that because I've played it a couple times on here. They've done the scouting reports in it, but they didn't do anything else. They didn't have that give me a call up to the show, do all this. Like it was just on you to scout your players and do it in those. And this one, it actually made you feel like you were a part of it going up. This next one I didn't play. I collected it. I saw it in a mass collection and bought it. There's actually a couple of these that I saw at a mass collection. And I was like, okay, I'll just buy it. And that was Rogue Warrior. So I have no idea what the gameplay is like on this. This is going to be one of those that we will enjoy together. But I got a manual with it. I've got the case with it. Got everything. And this was smoked around. It's yellowed a little bit. I mean, you can tell. I mean, it's like yellowed a lot. But I ended up cleaning the case, got it taken care of. Layer is another one. So I didn't play Layer when it was first out. This is going to be one of the ones that we're going to go back through and play together as a Sony Interactive game. But I got everything with it as well. So that's going to be something that's going to be special for us in the days to come. We got a bunch of them. BioShock Infinite. So, man, I was working at Toys R Us when this game came out, and there was several different cases that you could get for BioShock Infinite, and this is one of the ones that has the multiple case art on it that you can flip. I like the other side, but this is the actual case art, and you can flip it and make it go. But I love it, man. Love everything with it. Um, we got the season pass, we got all that good stuff for this as well. BioShock was one of those games that it started the trend in changing what our next generation would look like for PlayStation 4. This was kind of the beginning of the change. Uncharted 3 and this one were really the beginnings of the end for the PlayStation, and it was the start of the new era and moving into it. But BioShock Infinite, and this, like I said, this is the dual case art. You can see it's the inside that is made to be the outside, and vice versa. If I take the game out, you can see the original outside for PS3. So it's pretty cool, man, that they had the dual case art here for it, and it just stuck, dude. Loved it. Loved the game. It was just so much fun, man. BioShock is so much fun, and you can't speak with it without talking about the originals. Paid $3.95 and $4.95 here for BioShock 1 and 2, and they came with everything. The music on these games was amazing, and I remember when it came out, it was actually an Xbox exclusive at first for like 45 days. BioShock 1 was, and it was so popular that they added it to PlayStation, and PlayStation got it after the 45-day mark. And this is one of the original red tags. This is one of the opening series. So that was a pretty cool thing there to see on those. Man, what can we say about this next game? Probably one of the most compelling storylines in all of gaming history. You really connected with all the characters all the way around. You were really rooting for the characters to finish their story and to make it there. And it had one of the most opening dramatic scenes in all of gaming. But they've even made movies and stuff out of it. And I'm talking about The Last of Us. So, The Last of Us by Naughty Dog was one of the most compelling games. Now, I don't have a case art for this one, but I have the game and I played through it about a year ago. I'm going to replay through this again this year. It's going to be one of the games that I put on my list to be part of the Fireflies and find the Fireflies and get completionist on that this year. I gotta play it on hard, and I really don't want to, man, to be honest with you. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there in TikTok and the world of gaming, wherever you guys are at. Our next game is one of the games that was at the very peak and the very end of the life cycle of the PlayStation, and that's Watch Dogs. So I've got this for Xbox. I've got it for the Nintendo. I had it for the Nintendo Wii U. It was one of the games that they came out with that was exclusive for that. Uh, and and I bought it for all three systems, man. And the Xbox version is actually my favorite, but this is my second. I really like the graphics on this. We'll go outside here in just a minute, bub. We got just a little bit to go. My puppy wants to go outside, guys. He's begging me. You want to say hi? Come here. Come here and say hi. Come here. Come here. He's not going to. He's going to stay down here. Uh, but everything works out. The next series is what we called earlier. It's another Naughty Dog series. It's probably the most compelling and best series that was ever created in a trifecta of games, and that's Uncharted. So, Uncharted Drake's Fortune had a lot of issues at first, but it was so compelling. The gameplay was so compelling. The story was so compelling. The turn of events was so compelling on it that you didn't want to drop it. They fixed a lot of that in Uncharted 2, and the opening scene on this sucker just got you hooked. And there's several scenes in this that made my butthole pucker. Like I'm afraid of heights. I'll just be straight with you. I'm afraid of heights. And Uncharted 2, when you were climbing stuff and having to jump and swing, and it really got to me. And then how can you forget about Uncharted 3? Drake's Deception, one of the greatest games, one of the greatest series of all time ever made for any gaming system, something that kept you captivated, kept you motivated, kept you dedicated, kept you into the world of gaming, kept you hooked to your seat all the way through, and gave you a challenge every step of the way. Was this complete series, the Uncharted series? The girls, they did do an online version only of the girls game, but it was at the end of the PlayStation life cycle. They did not release a disc for it for PlayStation 3 in North America. You can find some of the disc in the Japan area for it, but we didn't get one of those. Kane and Lynch, so Dog Days and Dead Men. I mean, what can you say about this? Action packed, lots of shooting, lots of good stuff to go through here. These two were free. I got both of these games for absolutely free. Somebody was throwing them away. I said, "Hey, can I have them?" They said, "Yes, take them." And they worked perfectly. They just couldn't sell them, didn't want to sell them, or weren't trying hard enough to sell them, and decided to get rid of them. And I got them. So that's how that worked out for me. Far Cry 3, one of the better series in all of gaming. Far Cry is. I paid $4.95 for Far Cry 3, got all the access, all the points, all that good stuff there for it. And it's a fun game. Fun game shooters. Then you got to talk about these two, Infamous and Infamous 2. Don't know if you guys can see that or not, but Infamous and Infamous 2. So I paid $4.95 for both of them together, not individual. $4.95 for both of them together, even though they were both listed for $4.95. I was able to do that because I had points. And Uncharted 2 had the beta inside of it that's available for Uncharted 3, which was on the PlayStation Home, if I remember correctly, for like forever. I mean, it was there for almost a good 3 years before they decided they were going to shut down PlayStation Home, which that's another game for another time that we can get into that I wish PlayStation would just put it back. We all paid bukudos of money to have emotions, to have an apartment, to have furniture, to have clothing, to have everything, mini games, all that stuff. We were all paying money for PlayStation Home, and they just took it away from us and ripped it, and they have no intention of putting it back. So that's just another game for another time that we'll talk about. Never played this one while it was out. I'm going to play this pretty soon. It's called The Club from Sega. So it's going to be one of those games that I go through and we're going to have a good time with. Now, this one I got at a pawn shop and they cased it like this for me, but I've got everything inside the case. And it's one of the ones that I haven't played yet, but I'm going to go through it with you guys soon this year. So that's on my list. And then one of the most interesting stories in all of gaming is Mafia 2. from the way it starts out, the way it goes through. Now they took all the DLC away from Mafia 2 a couple years ago. So if you have Joe's Adventures and you got all that with it, still keep it because you won't be able to get it unless you download it from the PlayStation Network, and it's no longer on the store as the PlayStation store has dwindled down to a whopping 100 games and about 300 add-ons now. So they're going through and they're getting rid of stuff on PS3 for that. Got one more stack here to go through. Uh, some of these are just odds and end games. Splinter Cell Double Agent was a great game when it first came out. I had it for the Xbox 360 as well. Still have it. I actually have the digital edition for this one, and I can't say enough about it. Moto Storm. Now, this was one of the release games, and I've got Pacific Drift somewhere too. I think it's at my mom's house. I may have taken it to my mom's house, but this one came with dual manuals. So somebody picked up an extra manual and put it in this one, which was pretty cool. Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto, sorry, Gran Turismo 5. Excuse me, Gran Turismo 5. This isn't the pre-sequel. This is the actual game. Now, I love Gran Turismo. I love everything about it. I love 4. I loved the getting your license, running through it, going through the Nissan Academy, doing all that fun stuff on this game. Paid $4.95 for that game. When it was brand new, I think I paid 69 for it and some change with some DLC. So that's pretty cool. This is one of the games that came in a bundle that I bought, but I don't really know anything about. Uh, this came from a lot from a guy in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he got it at mckays for $4.95. But I paid $20 for the lot, and I got the next 5 games on this for it. We got Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds. Hot Shots is always pretty good. I liked Hot Shots 3 was my favorite for the PlayStation 2, but that's a pretty good game. It has a lot of stuff going on with it. WWE 12, which is probably the best storyline in my personal opinion of the new WWE games that has came out in recent years. Legends, WWE Legends, dude. And that was $11.20 when it first came out to him. It was like $89 for the big bundle, and it was 59 for the regular bundle. So they were trying to push it, man. I remember all that. Then Farming Simulator. This is the last one in that Farming Simulator. Now I don't really like this game a lot. There was a lot of people that had a lot to say about this game, and it's harder for me because I'm trying to struggle with the controller. So I've got several controllers and only one of them I can get it to hook stuff up with. The other ones can't get it to hook anything up with. So this is a game that's a little bit harder for me to till and do different things with, but it's a fun game. It's just challenging for me. Motorstorm Pacific Rift. Now I paid all of 14.25 for Pacific Rift. I wanted it. I wanted to play it. My wife absolutely loves Motorstorm. She can't get enough of it. And the next 3 are mine, which I don't have a complete series because I don't have number 3. It's on the list of things to get. But we've got Little Big Planet, Little Big Planet 2, and Little Big Planet Karting. So 3 is the only one that's missing out of this. I think I paid about $25 for all 3 of them. It was somewhere around $25, $26 for all 3 of them together. I got them in a bundle, and it was one of the best bundles. I love Little Big Planet. It was the game that changed my perspective of the PlayStation 3. So I was working at Toys R Us at the time when it first came out and they put it on display. They put the PlayStation 3 on display, and that was one of the games that they put inside the demo disc for it. And Little Big Planet just changed my perspective of how fun it was, how creative you could be, what you could do. And it made me feel like a kid again. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which this one is on and off one of the better games that I have for Need for Speed. There's a lot of Need for Speed games that I've got elsewhere, but I don't have them here. This was goated. This was the greatest golf game of all time if you could play, and that is the Masters Tiger Woods PGA 12. And unfortunately, when they shut the servers off for it, if you didn't already have your stuff bought, if you didn't have your stuff paid for at the time, you can't get it unless you can unlock it. So only the clothing can be unlocked. You can't unlock anything else. You can't go to the store and get it. We were talking about expensive games, dude. This is stupid expensive right now. Stupid expensive. Now they paid $14 for this. I found it in a pawn shop for $5.95, and I ate this up. I ate it up. Couldn't do it. It's almost a $70 game. Current. Could go for more depending on the market, buddy. I'm going to take you. We got about 7 more. Um, where the wild things are. I mean, it is what it is, right? You just got some stuff. Skyrim. Now, good luck finding a game that actually works. I've had to have like 7 discs in Skyrim because they've all been jacked up. This is a steelbook. I don't buy steelbooks very often, but this is Beyond Two Souls, the steelbook. Came with all the case candy, all the good stuff on the inside of it. Paid $7 for this game. $6.95 for that game. Kung Fu Rider. I mean, you got to know. There's some hidden gems too. Midnight Club. Y'all remember Midnight Club? Good God Almighty! What a great game. Uh, the only thing I didn't like is if you got arrested, you had to start back over or try to do something with it. What a good game that was. Just Cause 2. Man, I'm playing through Just Cause 3 right now, but Just Cause 2 is an awesome game as well. Both of these games are kind of on the high list. Both Prince of Persia's. You got the Forgotten Sands and you got the original Prince of Persia here. Those are pretty cool games. Definitely to go back through. PlayStation 2 version of the Prince of Persia was the revolutionary game where you could reverse stuff, go back in time and change stuff. Need for Speed Shift. I told you I had some more Need for Speed. I just didn't know where it was at. I got everything, case candy and all inside that. Monopoly Street. So I've not played this Monopoly Streets for the PlayStation 3. That is something that me and my wife are looking forward to doing here in a little bit. And who can forget Tom Clancy's End War right here? Man, God, this brings back memories, right? So I've got it for the Xbox as well. I've never played it on the Xbox. And I am looking forward to doing a replay of this game pretty soon as well. One of the best games, funnest games, greatest karting games that was out there during the time was Mod Nation Racers. If you don't know, you should. Should be one of those games that everybody plays. And then I'm going to give an honorable mention to a game called Pain, Pain. Oh my God, you guys, if you didn't download Pain, didn't download the characters for Pain, and didn't play it, you guys missed out on a absolute gem of a game for the PlayStation 3. And there's several of them that are like that. Several games that are like that. But Pain was one of the games that it's just simplicity was wonderful. You are a person that is put into a slingshot, and your job is to do as much damage to a city as possible while making as many noises as you can on the way down for tearing stuff up. And that was one of the best games for the console that I can remember playing. I spent hours and hours and hours on Pain, unlocking people, unlocking rewards, getting different things, and I would do it all over again. I will do it all over again. If I could find the disc version of it, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Starland had one a couple months ago, and they sold it for about $65. And I should have been the one that bought it. I looked at it for like 4 days, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and it just took me too long. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there in the world of TikTok. We're talking about some gaming today and some PlayStation 3. I didn't get y'all the most things, some of the best games that you could ever find, that you can play on your PlayStation 3 because they're not PlayStation 3 games, but Army Men. If you guys like retro PlayStation games, Army Men is the game to play, especially with the graphics upscaling. Some of the better games to play. Spider-Man, of course. Bam! Got the Spider Whistle. And then I always liked NFL Extreme. This was the 989 version, baby, before 989 went out of business. But I like playing some original PlayStation games sometimes on the console just for the upscaling properties and how it would work. I know that PlayStation 2, certain models played the PlayStation 2. I don't have one of those. I have one that plays the one. And those are the games that I would recommend if you're playing some stuff on your PlayStation 3. It's just fun time in gaming, fun time around the world. And like I said, you can't beat those Army Men games. I wish they would have remade them for the console, but they couldn't get the rights to them. It's just one of those things, man. You just got to take it as it comes. Thanks, guys, for coming in. I appreciate you all for being here today. I think that's going to end us. We did about an hour here. I've got to get my dog taken out. It's time to get something to eat, and it's time to roll and boogie, guys. So I'll see y'all on the flip side. Thank you guys for coming into Camel Toe Adventures. Thank you guys for being here tonight on Nerdy Gaming with Rabbit Beaver, and we'll talk later. See you later, guys. Bye.